The EP Podcast. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found, and always at theeppodcast.com.
Good to be back with the EP Podcast here in Evergreen Park. Evergreen Park's podcast that is 30 minutes of good in a world of dumb. My name is Chris Lanuti. I hope you got enough Thanksgiving turkey and all the fixins. I hope you got your Christmas lights up if you do that, because now it's freezing cold. I hope you're stopping at your stop signs and you're driving properly through the neighborhood while kids are walking to school. They were out. EPPD was out like a dragnet on Monday morning coming out of the holiday weekend, at least over in the southwest quadrant where I am. Just on my drive from 99th Street, past Southwest, over to Most Holy Redeemer, I saw multiple traffic stops, all right after a stop sign. And I love it. I absolutely love it. You got 4 quadrants, 5 days a week. They should saturate every quadrant at least once a week. On the way there, I saw all the lights. I saw the tickets being handed out. It was glorious. On the way back, I saw everybody stopping at stop signs suddenly because they were nervous. Awesome. I loved it. First National Bank of Evergreen Park is the sponsor of the EP Podcast, so I'm going to mention them now. They invest in the EP community. After all, they love this area as much as you do. Plus, their Total Access checking account gives you free ATMs nationwide, and there's no overdraft fees. This is my bank. This is the bank I have all my kids with their individual accounts in there so they can watch their money grow and learn how to invest. This is the bank where I have my business at for the last 5 years. And they're going to give you a $300 bonus with qualifying activities when you open up that checking account. Paired with their mobile banking tools and award-winning customer service, switching to a true community bank has never been easier. Stop in and see them. Great people, amazing building. You've driven by it your entire life right there on the corner of 95th and Pulaski. Walk into that iconic building today, tomorrow, sometime this week, and set it all up. The First National Bank of Evergreen Park, member FDIC. Sitting down here at the 9-foot homemade oak bar, Frank Murray is in here for the holidays. How are you, my friend?
Chris, pretty good. Pretty good. How's your Thanksgiving?
It was good. Do you have all your lights up?
I do. We put up the tree. I did put up the tree.
I got the tree up this weekend. And I got the lights on, which was never my job. That is the most annoying thing in the world. I was telling this story to my daughter as we were putting the lights on. I used to put lights on the tree when I was a single man because I wanted to have a tree in my house, right? In my apartment, when I was traveling around the country doing radio, I wanted to have a tree. The moment I started dating her mother through getting married to her, all the way up until this point, she put the lights on the tree because I hated it. I hated putting lights on the tree. Right.
It's a rough job.
And now that I am going through the divorce, I am putting lights on the tree again. And I found the first thing that I miss about her right there, putting lights on the tree.
Putting lights on the tree.
That's all I have.
Are you guys fake tree or real tree people?
We're fake tree.
Fake tree?
I once got in trouble in Wheeling, West Virginia for explaining this.
Oh, boy.
So let's see if I get in trouble for it now.
Oh, boy.
I always said that real trees were just
disclaimer.
Just an invitation to having your house burnt down. I would say that. I would be like, why would I bring in something that's not like rooted in the ground, that if it gets too dry, it lights on fire and kills everyone in my house? I want a fake tree. And I would yell about this all the time on the radio until the Tree Growers Association of America or something, like they have like an association, reached out with like their legal representation saying that I was causing them irreparable harm by talking about how their trees are nothing but kindling that kills families in the middle of the night. And they didn't like that. Okay. And then our attorneys at the radio station read it and laughed at it and said, "You're not doing anything other than telling jokes. Go back and tell the jokes." So then I read the letter. Then there was another letter, but it was a whole thing. Okay. Yeah. Wheeling, West Virginia and the Tree Association out there hates me to this day because of it.
So they're not sponsors of the EP podcast then? No.
Okay. I've never been a real tree guy. Every time I've seen somebody with a real tree, you know what I see? I see sap. I see like needles all over their house. You know,
that's a real thing.
You always see like right after Christmas, these dead things laying on the side of the road. Well, they were dead on Christmas too. I'm convinced of it. If they're dead looking on the side of the road on the 26th, I guarantee they were pretty dead looking on Christmas, right? And so that I would rather have the fake tree that I can leave up as long as I want to, put up whenever I want to, take down whatever I want to. I want the fake tree and not the dead thing that I'm trying to just limp along through the holidays.
All right. Well, that's why I asked. I was like, we need to get you a pre-lit fake tree.
Well, no, those don't work either. The tree I have right now was a pre-lit. Those lights go out after a while. Then you got to cut them all out, and you got to put new ones on.
Restring them.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
You get a couple of years out of them.
Listen, I love Christmas time, and I am the most bah humbug Christmas person in the world. Like, I hate the decorations. I still haven't put the ones up on the side of the house yet because I keep looking at the ladder going, this could be the year I die. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to do it, but I know I have to do it for the kids. Mm-hmm. So yeah, eventually it'll all be up. Right now, the interior of the house is done, and then we'll get the exterior done at some point this week when it's not 15 degrees outside.
Yeah, well, okay. Like today. Yeah.
Weekend's supposed to be in the mid-40s, so I'm going to do it in the mid-40s.
It's much better weather for outdoor lights.
Yeah.
And between the hours of 11 and 3 p.m. when it's actually light out.
When it's light outside. It's the worst, man. It's the worst. I took my little guy, Nick, to church on Sunday, and we had to go to St. Christina because we couldn't go to the morning mass. So I was like, all right, we'll get to St. Christina's 5 p.m. over in Mount Greenwood. Uh-huh. And I head over there. And he's falling asleep in the pew because it's dark outside during mass at 5 p.m. He's like, I don't know, I'm just so tired. I'm like, I know you're tired. It's pitch black outside the church. You would think you were at midnight mass. Uh-huh. I will never get daylight savings time, ever. I'll never understand daylight savings time and real trees inside of your house.
Those are the two things that really confound Chris.
I'm never going to get daylight savings time or real trees inside.
I like the
house.
Extra hour, but then, if sleep that you get from daylight savings and end of October, early November, but that's it. That's it. And then it's dark at 4:30.
It's dark at 4:30. It's brutal.
That's not fair.
It's awful.
It's not right.
All right. Now we've complained about trees, daylight savings time, getting the lights up. Let's get into what's going on at the library.
All right, Chris, let's do it. I better get the whole 30 minutes now to talk about library stuff.
You know what? I think you're going to get it. You're going to get it because I spent all weekend working. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, unless he appears on this show, and it would be a miracle if he does at this point as we're recording, right? Yeah. I was going to have Rich Daniels on from the City Lights Orchestra. Yeah. And we weren't able to get it worked out. And then we were going to reschedule, and that didn't work out. And then I had Thanksgiving. And then like the whole weekend went by, and I'm putting up the lights, and now I'm sitting there going, all I got is Frank. So we're just you may be the whole show today. I don't know. As we're recording, you are. Now Mayor Burke is on next week.
Okay.
Down here. She's going to be in studio down here next week. So if you have any questions for the mayor, it's our holiday chat with the mayor, which I think we have done every year, not only with her, but also with Jim Sexton beforehand. So every holiday season, we get the mayor down here. That's happening next week. So if you have a question for the mayor, don't put it on like a comments in the Facebook where you're ticked off about something. Tell me, right? Go to the eppodcast.com, click on the little microphone, leave a voicemail. I'll play it for her, right? You want to say it to her directly? I'll play it for her and she can answer your question. Okay? There's my plug for that. We should get to you though, because it's been a while.
Yeah, and now it's like you're really breaking it on. That's like 22 minutes left or something. I don't know. I'm not keeping time, but no. What I do want to start off with, Chris, you always ask me what's my big leadoff.
What's your big leadoff?
We are excited to announce beginning January 1, January 2nd, when we're actually open for 2024, the library is going to be doing what's called automatic renewals on the items that you checked out. So instead of, your 3-week due period, when that item's due, as long as no one's waiting for the item, 3 days prior to its due date, you'll get an email notification saying, hey, your item has been renewed. You don't need to rush it back.
Oh, really?
And incur fines.
So you don't have to run back, renew it, and go back home. This means less time in the library, though. Aren't you worried about that?
Everybody could renew right now through the mobile app or online or just call us.
So this is
more of like a convenience for especially our heavy users, because we got a lot of feedback from people, and we are the only library in the area. We're actually only one of 6 Swan libraries. That Swan's like 101 libraries now, where we haven't been doing this already.
What's a Swan library?
Swan library is the group of 101 libraries to share library resources.
On the south side?
Yeah.
Are these all suburban libraries?
All suburban libraries,
Does it include Chicago?
No,
right?
Chicago, its own system.
Okay.
Swan, 100, it's, northwest, western, southern suburban libraries.
Right. It's a library army.
Consortium.
It's a
army sounds better.
Secret society of librarians. Kind of like the Illuminati, but more powerful.
Helping you get your resources, your informational needs when you need them and want them. So essentially, that's going to start on the 1st of January, 2024. Your items will automatically renew. All you need to do, it's going to be automatic, but the only thing that you need to make sure that you're signed up for is email notifications. Okay. That's how those notices are going to go out. That's how you're going to get them. Because maybe somebody's waiting for the book that you have checked out. You're going to get an email saying, hey, sorry, that wasn't auto-renewed. You need to return it as soon as you can.
Do you worry that with this system and people just getting all their books auto-renewed in this infinite space, that there'll be tumbleweeds in the library and empty bookshelves because all the books are just at somebody else's house?
Not at all.
Okay. I just wanted to paint a bleak picture and see if you reacted to it.
No, okay. I'm not worried at all. And I
do
want to know,
you'll have less conversation with human beings because less people will walk inside the library and you'll become lonely?
No.
Okay. All right. These are the only concerns I can come up with.
Probably more because they're going to be so overjoyed that we are actually offering this service.
More people will come to the library?
People will come in or call and say, oh my God, Frank, library people, thank you so much for this.
I get your reasoning here. What was keeping some people away from the library was the lack of auto renew. And now that it's here, they're going to be like, you know what? I wasn't going to use the library, but now I'm going.
Rejoice.
Okay.
Yep.
All
rejoice.
Right. I got you.
And let me do one more asterisk too, because I got to make sure everybody's aware, because they're going to be like, hey, Frank, I heard you on the EP podcast and you didn't mention this. But there are some items that are not eligible for auto renewal, and those are electronic.
All the good items are not eligible on auto renewal. Nothing you really want is eligible on auto renew.
There's just a couple. Electronic devices like our hotspots, laptops, tablets that we check out, those are not eligible. Our out-of-system requests, which are OCLC, so if they're coming from outside of our Swan library or outside of the state, those requests are not eligible. And then our digital items that are checked out through Libby or Canopy, which is our video streaming platform. Those are the only, those don't get auto-renewed.
Okay,
right.
All right. It seems like it's okay. Seems like a pretty good deal.
Good. I'm glad. Right. Okay, good. We
that
passed
was
the
Chris
big
test.
Thing?
That was your big thing? I figured your big thing was going to be like, a bunch of drinking in the library or some sort of scavenger hunt in the library.
That's coming up.
Okay. What's
coming up? Well, before I get to the drinking in the library, I'd want to give a quick shout out to, we recently upgraded our mobile printing service too. I don't know. Not a lot of people realize we have this available, but we just upgraded the service. You can, if you need a document printed or whatever it might be printed, you can send it virtually to the library. There's 3 different ways you can do it. One, you can upload that document through the library's website. We have a little link on our homepage called Wireless Printing. Click on that. You can upload the document. You can even select, say you got a 12-page document, you only need pages 4 through 6 of that document. You can
what does
by
this
page
cost?
range.
What does this cost having have things printed at the library?
Just the cost of the paper. It's 10 cents black and white, 50 cents for color.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. And then we also have a really awesome mobile app that you can go on and download that mobile app and send prints from your phone. Pictures, photos, whatever it might be.
All right. So we have an auto renew and you can print stuff at the library. It's very exciting.
From home.
Okay.
And you got 24 hours
to come pick it up. I just want to point out, you were worried about how much time you were going to get on the EP podcast. You went with auto renew and copy paper.
Those are huge, Chris.
Building relationships, supporting the community, and service. These are the things that Country Financial stands for. They're more than just an office you may pass by as you drive through Evergreen Park. They're neighbors who lend a helping hand and support the fabric of your community, including charitable organizations, sports, financial education, and civic organizations. And since Country is already your neighbor, they want to get together and chat. Call your local Country Financial representative, Mike Thauer, today at 708-425-1559 to talk about the things that are important to you and how he can help you protect them. What's good? What am I going to enjoy at the library? Not that auto renew doesn't have me all a Twitter, okay? Like I'm not like I'll be later in my loafers skipping around, okay, based upon the idea that auto renew is at the library. But what am I going to enjoy other than that, Frank?
Well, knowing you, Chris.
Yeah.
Last time, I think it was the last time I was on the podcast, or maybe 2 podcasts ago, we talked about a little fall beer tasting event.
Yeah, exactly.
Full house. You were there. It was packed. We had a waiting list. We're doing a winter beer tasting.
So it's going to be another tasting.
Backed by popular demand.
Same guy, I would imagine.
Same guy.
He was interesting.
Correct. He's extremely
He was interesting because he kind of like there were things about beer that I didn't know as I was sitting there going through it. I know, and I normally know an awful lot about it. I mean, I've been somebody that's been into the craft beer scene for years.
Right.
And, and so there were things that I picked up from him that I was like, ooh, I can use this next time I'm in a conversation with a brewer. And I did.
Really
I actually used something that I learned from him in a conversation with a brewer that I was talking to on another podcast like 2 weeks later. And he was like, how did you know that? And I'm like, oh, I'm a very knowledgeable person. But it was really because I just stole it off of that guy.
And you learned it at your local library.
That's right.
That's my drop the mic moment right there, Chris. Chris just learned something off of our beer guy.
The library taught me something. Strangely, it was about beer.
And you know what? This is recorded. That's what I love about this. It's on record. Winter beer tasting is going to be Monday, December 18th at 6:30 p.m.
Okay.
Sign up now because registration will be
in there.
Yes.
All right.
Get it going.
Winter beer tasting.
Mm-hmm. We got a couple after hours events coming up.
That's what I like to hear. There we go. What do we got?
We had to postpone our Amazing Race. Remember the Amazing Race Library Edition that I was promoting? We had to postpone it because we had a staff member that was running the event. It's her baby. She had some minor health concerns. Got sick. So we didn't want to have it without her because she had put so much work into it. So it's going to be Friday, January 12th. It's 21 and over event. Please register in advance. We have several different time slots, so you can pick which time slot works best for you. And that is Friday, January 12th. And then for all those Ted Lasso fans out there, we're having an after hours trivia night. That is going to be Saturday, January 20th at 6 p.m.
Did you like the Ted Lasso?
I watched the first I've watched the first 2 seasons.
That's all you need to watch.
Yeah. I haven't watched the third and final.
Like the first 2 seasons are the best, and the first season is the best. But it was like at some point they decided to like make it like a drama instead of like the most feel good show you've ever watched in your entire life. And then you were just annoyed. But you're like, well, I got to get to the end, but you were just annoyed.
Well, I still have to watch season 3 so I can participate.
Yeah. Now, on the other hand, if you want to watch something that's good that has to do with soccer or football, as the rest of the world calls it, Welcome to Wrexham on I want to say it's on FX, so you can get on the Hulu and stuff like that. It's the one where Ryan Reynolds and the guy from Always Sunny in Philadelphia like bought an actual soccer team in Wales. It's really good. Like as a sports fan, love it. It's a documentary that kind of like, if you're in the Ted Lasso and you want to see something in real life that's similar, I would definitely watch
Those are it. Yeah. I've seen the previews for that. They look pretty good.
Yeah, very good.
Well, and we're also having author Kathleen Rooney. She is going to be at the library live and in person on Thursday, December 14th.
What does she
at
write?
6:30
What kind
p.m.
of books is she writing?
So her latest is From Dust to Stardust. And she's also the best-selling author of Lillian Boxfish, Takes a Walk, and Cher Ami and Major Whittlesey. So this one, From Dust to Stardust, is a novel about Hollywood, the cost of stardom, and selfless second acts, inspired by a true story. So it's based on the life and adventures of jazz age film star Colleen Moore. And then
what do the authors do when they come to the library?
It's usually a variety of different, there's kind of like 3 different things. They'll talk about their whole process, their writing process, specifically for that book. Some will read passages and talk about those that mean something particular to them, but we make everybody do the Q&A because that's what everybody wants. They want to ask their favorite author or one of their favorite authors a question like, hey, when you were developing this character, what was your motivation? What was,
that's why I want like an event with George R.R. Martin, so I can be like, when are you going to finish the books, lazy? Like that's what I would like.
All right, I'm writing this down for you.
Yeah, just get him on so I can ask him why he's so lazy. All right.
It's just how he writes, man. It takes him 8 years.
Whatever.
It takes him 8 years.
I think that the ending that HBO came up with was his ending, and he saw that everybody hated it, so he's never going to write the books. Honest to goodness, that's my theory on him.
Well, he probably has.
That was actually his ending, and he was like, they don't like it, and he's never going to write the books now. I think that's what happened. I think we were all going to be disappointed in the end. That's what I think.
Oh, my goodness. A lot of holiday-themed stuff. We have Kids Craft Nights, Tuesday, December 5th, and Tuesday, December 19th. We're going to be doing all sorts of, we're making a pine cone reindeer, grades K through 5. We also have Santa Story Time with our favorite one of our favorite Santa Claus, Dreezy Claus. It's going to be Sunday, December 17th at 2:30 p.m. We're going to have stories, ornament making, snacks, and everything. Picture time with Dreezy Claus.
Dreezy Claus.
With Dreezy Claus.
Okay.
And then we are having a Merry Grinchmas, Friday, December 22nd at 11 a.m., grades 5 and under. We're going to have of course, when we have something, we do crafts and we have snacks.
You always have crafts and snacks.
And we're also showing...
In fact, normally when you give me an event, it's more about the crafts and the snacks than the books, which is amazing to me.
We do it all, Chris.
Yeah.
We do it all.
Yeah.
We're also showing the 1996 movie, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Okay.
The Grinch will be there.
So now here's a question for you when it comes to the Grinch. You have the original, okay, the cartoon. Mm-hmm. You have the one with Jim Carrey that you're showing. Mm-hmm. You have this Benedict Cumberbatch cartoon one.
Well, we're showing the original 1966.
You're showing the 1966
not the one with Jim Carrey.
You're not showing the Jim Carrey, Correct. You're showing the original one. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. So you got the 1966 one, you got the Jim Carrey one, you got the Benedict Cumberbatch full-length one that's in the in cartoon form.
Right.
My question is, 1, which one is your favorite? And 2, why is the Benedict Cumberbatch one so unnecessary?
You're asking my personal opinion on the Benedict Cumberbatch one. How about that? I have to say, when it comes to this one, I'm definitely a traditionalist. I love the 1966 version. It's got to be my favorite.
The Jim Carrey one is good, but
Jim Carrey's good.
My kid watches the one that's the cartoon, and I'm like, why did they need to make this? They have a full-length one. They have the original one. Why did we need a third one? I'm never going to understand it.
Chris,
ever.
In about 3 years, they're going to make another one.
That's ridiculous. Did you see that they have a new Willy Wonka movie coming out?
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
Why?
The early life of Willy,
Gene
right?
Wilder's version is still the only version. Like the one with Johnny Depp is weird. Tell me that you didn't watch the Johnny Depp one and go, that's weird. It's weird. It's not like, you can't say that that's the better one. And now you have a new one coming out with, who is this? Timothy Chalamet's in it? I only know about him because of Saturday Night Live. I have such a hard time placing him in any movies. I think he did Dune.
Dune, yeah.
And he's on Saturday Night Live. That's the only times I ever really remember him, right? And he's doing Wonka, and I just don't get it. It's like, well, when was the last time we did a Wonka movie? 15 years ago. Time for another Wonka movie. Why?
So I hear they're also going to try to remake the Twilight series.
The one with the vampires and the
with
werewolves
the vampires,
and
yeah.
That one I don't even care because
I
didn't watch the first one. But again, why do you need to redo it? Right? Why? Like, once a movie's out there, like, I understand the idea that there was bad technology when you came up, like Dune. We just mentioned Dune, right?
Yeah.
The original Dune with Sting is stupid. Like, there are some people that really like it. It's like a cult classic, right? But if you sit down in front of that and you try to watch it, you're like, what am I watching? This thing is long. There's a bunch of sand. It doesn't make any sense. The graphics are weird. If I showed it to my kid right now, I'd be like, I'm not watching this. This is garbage, right? So I understand that you need to remake it because the technology didn't exist, right? But what are you going to do in the new Twilight that you didn't do in the previous Twilight? What advancement in filmmaking has occurred in which you need to make another version of it for the next generation?
I think the vampires are just going to sparkle better when they're exposed to sunlight. I don't know, Chris. I'm just throwing you a bone here. I don't know.
They sparkle when they're exposed to sunlight?
I think that's part of the book.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that kind of goes back to, I'm glad we're talking about this.
Well, yeah, me too, because now I know you're a big Twilight fan, because I never knew that. And you know that the vampires sparkle in the sunlight.
I'm a librarian.
Which vampire sparkles the most, Frank?
I don't know.
Which one's the sparkliest?
But this goes back to my original point. The book's always better.
Yeah.
Got to go with the book.
You read the book?
Got to go with the book.
You read the book?
Not for Twilight, no.
Okay.
I did not read that one.
You were out of here if you read the book for Twilight.
But Dune, you go back to Dune, you got to read Dune, and George R. Martin. I mean, come on, you can't get better with the Game of Thrones series.
You're right.
The
books are better than Game of Thrones as well. His story is really interesting. As a writer, he's awful. He's an awful writer. He's an awful writer. He had a really good idea. Awful writer.
Taking too much time for Chris. We need to get these books published faster.
Just get to the point.
Let's go.
Get to the damn point. All right.
Well,
getting to the damn point.
I'm going to go back to my points here. So we got The Grinch coming back again, Friday, December 22nd, 11 a.m. And then we're also having our huge New Year's Eve party for the kiddos. That's Saturday, December 30th at 11 a.m. This is literally, there's 80 kids downstairs in a basement with noisemakers, balloons. It's a huge party, and it's crazy.
Okay.
It's absolute chaos,
yeah.
But so much fun. They're all running around.
How old are your
having
guys?
A lot of fun.
How old are your kids?
They are 7 and 10.
Do you let them stay up on New Year's?
No, they usually fall asleep, actually, believe it or not.
But if they stayed up, would you make them go to bed?
If they wanted to do that, I'd see
okay.
if they could do it.
Yeah.
Especially Maybe the 10-year-old might, but
when mine were that age, you're right. It was like a struggle for them to stay up. But now that there's 2 teenagers, the youngest one is going to make it. Like he thinks he's a teenager. He's 8 years old and thinks he's a teenager.
It's like, I got this.
Yeah.
This is no problem.
He ain't going anywhere.
This is no problem.
He's gonna pound a couple of Red Bulls and stay awake. It's now time for your EP podcast, Word on the Street, brought to you by Spoke and Vine Wine Bar and Bottle Shop, northeast corner of 95th and Kedzie. Let me tell you, you're looking for a gift during the holiday season. You also want to go out and have a little bit of fun. Go to Spoke and Vine, try a couple of wines out, then pick up one of the bottles you just tried as a gift, and boom, you're set. They're also starting to do wine tastings over there as well. They got great food, 21 and over. Everything from the bar to the lounge seating, it's whatever your style is. See more at spokenvinewines.com. This Saturday, December the 2nd, kicking off at 2 p.m., going until 5 at the Community Center and Klein Park in the Southwest Quadrant, A Dickens Christmas returns. Santa's going to be out there. Train rides, vendor fair, pony rides, petting zoo, trolley rides. I believe they have carolers on there and more. And afterwards, Mayor Kelly Burke will be lighting the big tree at 6 p.m. in Klein Park, Circle Park, if you like to call it that still. Hot cocoa and cookies await at the community center following the tree lighting, including a special visit from Santa Claus. The EP podcast is planning on being out there. I think they're going to put me inside this year because I'm always freezing about halfway through it. It was offered to me. I must look like an icicle when I sit out there every year. Make sure you stop by and say hi and enjoy this incredible annual event. Another annual event going on is the EP Youth Department's annual coat drive. They are accepting donations of coats, hats, socks, scarves, and gloves. During the coat drive, you only have until November the 30th, so you only have a couple of days. Donations must be in new or clean, used conditions. Drop them off at the Community Center, 3450 West 97th Street in room 105, or over at the Village Hall, 9418 South Kedzie. Over at the EP Fire Department, they are going to try to keep the wreath red. They do this every year. A big wreath is put up on the fire station. You can see it when you go down Kedzie, and it's lit up with red bulbs. In the event of a fire caused by holiday decorations, again, this is why I don't like real trees, they will take a red bulb out and put in a white bulb. They are asking you to try to keep the wreath red by practicing holiday fire safety in your home. The Evergreen Park Candlelight Theater is presenting a festive holiday youth musical December 8th and 9th. Mark your calendars, 7:30 p.m. show on the 8th and 9th, and then also on the 10th, a 3 p.m. matinee, I almost left that out, at the EP Senior Center at 9547 South Homan Avenue. Tickets are available at the Community Center right now, $12 for adults, students, and seniors at $10. And get your tickets before they are gone for the Sounds of the Season Christmas concert being put on over at Most Holy Redeemer Church on December the 17th at 7 p.m. when the City Lights Orchestra and vocalists conducted by Rich Daniels will be doing their annual performance. Tickets are free. They are only for Evergreen Park residents. They are first come, first serve, and you can only get up to 4 tickets per person. You can also not get them over at Redeemer. You have to go to the EP Rec Department located at 3450 West 97th Street. They're open 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, and on Saturday 9 a.m. until noon. Finally, Evergreen Park Community High School is having their open house on Wednesday, December the 6th, 5 to 8 p.m. 7th and 8th grade students who reside in EP will have the opportunity to learn about EP High School's academic programs and see the school's state-of-the-art facilities. I've done that tour before. It's a really good tour. Don't miss it. That's your EP podcast, Word on the Street, with SidSauce.net reminding you that the next Village Board meeting is December the 4th, 6 p.m., second floor of the Village Hall. I don't know how spicy those get, but you can spice up your food with a ton of different flavors. Peppers grown in Evergreen Park, sauces bottled here and dropped off at your door for free. Stock up on some hot sauce this season, a great stocking stuffer, and the only place I get my hot sauce from is at sidsauce.net. All right, is that everything? Did you get it all? Are you good?
I mean, do you have more time?
No, I don't.
You're out?
No, I mean, like, you could get, like, I'll give you one thing. One more thing, Frank Murray.
You know what? Just pick up your newsletter. They're fresh, hot off the presses, covering the months of December, January, and February. They should have been delivered to your home.
Should have been.
If not,
Probably didn't.
If not, check it out on our website. We have tons of fun, awesome educational activities.
Listen,
or stop into the library.
If you think you're frustrated with your mail delivery, I want you to sit down for 5 minutes with a Frank Murray who will come to my house and say, "Did you get the newsletter?" And I'll say, "No." And then the next time he comes to my house, he'll go, "Did you get the newsletter?" I'll be like, "I got 6."
Yeah. We literally have people who will bring them in because they feel bad that they got 5 of copies.
The mail carrier dropped off 40 of these at our house. Do you have an apartment? No, just my house.
Yeah.
He just put 40 of them on with me.
Guess it's better than having them thrown away.
It's the EP Podcast. All things Evergreen Park. It's the EP Podcast. Evergreen Park.